Welcome back to Climbing Mountains Media, the Contractor Horror Stories segment. We have a return guest, Jon Ambach from Bright Choice. He's going to be sharing another horror story with us. Go ahead, Jon.
Yeah, thanks for having me back. So one of the things I realized pretty quickly is who you refer to your customers is really important. So this happened a couple of years ago. We had a customer, she lived out of town and she had a commercial property here in San Antonio, Texas. She hired us to clean the exterior of the property, to clean all the windows. And when we were done, she wanted to do some touch-up paint around the trim and the exterior. And I had previously worked with a handyman before, and he had done some minor painting around my home, and I've never had any issues with him. So I went ahead and referred him to this customer, and fast forward a few weeks, I get a call from my previous customer, and she was very concerned, very distraught, pretty much telling me how she hired this painter to go out, paint the property, but she was concerned with the quality of the paint job, and that the contractor was threatening to put liens on the property if she didn't pay, and just all of these issues she was having. And I was very taken back. I was not involved in this project at all. I had no context of the work that was being done at the time. All I did was refer someone who had worked for me to one of my customers, and it just ended up turning into this big deal. So because she was out of town, I said, you know what, no problem. I'll drive over to your commercial property, I'll take a look, and then I'll give you a call back and let you know what I find. So I drive to the property, and unfortunately the paint job was done pretty halfway. It was not very professionally done. I looked at it, none of the cut-ins were done. And when I called the handyman, I was just like, hey man, what happened? What's going on? And he was saying how the customer, I guess, reduced the scope of work, reduced the pay, but had very high expectations and standards. And he told her, like, I'm gonna put a lien on the property if you don't pay me the full price, because we already spent all this money on materials and we already put time and energy into it. So I was caught in this very awkward space, this very awkward middle, where I had a customer that was very concerned with the person who I referred her, and I could obviously see that the paint job was not done 100% to my satisfaction or hers. And then talking to this handyman here, getting another side of the story, you know, about how the customer changed the work orders, changed the scope of work, and didn't want to pay for everything that they had originally agreed to. So it's just a very awkward position that I was put in. To be completely honest, I don't 100% know the outcome. I think she ended up paying him a fraction of what was owed, and he kind of just parted ways. But I learned a valuable lesson from that. Who you refer to your current customers is extremely important. You need to make sure who you're referring is a very professional organization that can handle these types of conflicts on their own and not bringing me into the picture. So it took me a long time to start referring people out again. It wasn't until I started doing more networking and really getting to know other business owners around town that I started sending those referrals with confidence again. So yeah, always be careful with who you refer, because you never know, it could turn into your problem.